All right, so we're back and ready to bend some minds. This time, we're diving deep into The Legend of Korra.
A whole decade after its finale. Hard to believe.
It really is, and Korra had, well, it had kind of a mixed reception when it first came out.
Especially coming off, the huge EE success of Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Right, like how do you follow that? But looking back now, Korra really did some incredible things, pushing the boundaries of the Avatar universe and honestly, animation in general.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to unpack today, how Korra carved its own path and why it continues to resonate with fans all these years later.
I think one of the most striking things about Korra is how it dared to evolve the world of Avatar.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, forget those serene landscapes and peaceful villages. We were thrust into Republic City.
A total shift. Skyscrapers, cars, a bustling metropolis.
Steampunk vibes, early 20th century industrialization, technology blending with bending. It was a visual and narrative departure.
And that shift in setting really allowed Korra to tackle some heavier themes.
Oh, for sure. We're talking political intrigue, social unrest, even spiritual crises. Stuff that you wouldn't necessarily expect in a show that, on the surface, seems geared towards a younger audience.
Yeah, and it wasn't afraid to delve into complex issues. Korra's struggles with identity, purpose, her place in this rapidly changing world.
And let's be real, Korra herself was a very different kind of avatar.
Definitely. I mean, compared to Aang, she was definitely more.
Headstrong, impulsive, flawed.
All of the above. She wasn't this fully realized, wise avatar right from the start. She made mistakes, she struggled.
And that's what made her so relatable, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You saw her battling her inner demons, dealing with trauma, even experiencing PTSD.
Which, let's be honest, was groundbreaking for a children's show to portray. And her vulnerability resonated with viewers because it reflected our own struggles. We've all felt that self-doubt, that fear, that uncertainty.
Remember that scene where Korra's meditating and suddenly, bam, she's hit with this flashback of Amon taking away her bending?
Oh man, chills. You could see the panic, the raw fear in her eyes. It was such a powerful moment because it showed that even the Avatar, this figure who's supposed to be all-powerful and wise, could be deeply scarred by trauma.
And her journey, her recovery from that trauma, was such an important message, especially for younger viewers.
Absolutely. It showed that it's okay to not be okay, that it's okay to ask for help, and that even in the face of immense adversity, you can heal, you can grow.
Okay, we got to talk about the animation because, wow.
Studio Mir knocked it out of the park.
Korra was visually stunning right from the get-go.
The bending sequences, so dynamic and fluid, the character designs, incredibly expressive. They really captured the power and grace of bending with this incredible level of detail.
And Republic City itself felt so vibrant and alive.
Oh yeah, the use of color, light, and shadow, masterful. They managed to convey both the grandeur of the city and the intimacy of Korra's personal struggles.
And the music, we can't forget the music.
Jeremy Zuckerman's score was epic. The way he blended those traditional instruments with modern electronic sounds.
It was so unique, it perfectly captured the mood of each scene.
Totally. It's interesting, that blend of traditional and modern actually reflects the show itself, a nod to the past while embracing the future.
Yeah, look, Korra wasn't without its criticisms.
True.
Some viewers felt like the pacing was off at times.
A little uneven.
And there were certain plot points, like that love triangle in the first season.
Yeah, that one didn't land for everyone.
But I think what's important to remember is that the creators were trying to do something different. They took risks, they pushed boundaries, and sometimes those risks didn't always pay off.
But hey, that's part of what makes Korra so interesting. They weren't afraid to experiment, to try new things.
And one of the most fascinating things about Korra, I think, were the villains.
Oh, the villains.
They weren't just your typical, evil for the sake of being evil kind of villains.
Might have been close.
These were complex characters with ideologies, with motivations that you could actually understand.
Exactly. Take Amon, for example.
Yep.
Charismatic leader, preying on people's resentment towards benders.
Yeah. And his whole thing stemmed from social inequality. You could almost sympathize with him.
Right. Then you have Zaheer, who wanted to dismantle all authority to achieve this, like true freedom. His philosophy, while extreme, raised some really interesting questions about power and control.
And Kuvira, she wanted to unify the Earth Kingdom, but her methods were pretty tyrannical.
But she truly believed she was doing what was best for her people. It made you think, what is the line between good intentions and harmful acts?
It's like Korra gave us villains who weren't just bad guys, they were reflections of the world's complexities, made us question our own beliefs about justice and societal structures.
And that's something that's so relevant today. All these themes Korra explored, social change, spiritual growth, confronting trauma, they still resonate so strongly.
Yeah, and the characters, with all their flaws and imperfections, they feel so real, so human.
Exactly. Korra showed that animation could tackle mature and nuanced themes and still be incredibly entertaining and engaging.
So as you dive back into The Legend of Korra, or maybe experience it for the first time, here's something to think about. The show presented us with this world on the cusp of technological advancement.
Right. A blend of the old and the new.
So how do you think the Avatar's role will continue to evolve in the future? What challenges will they face in a world where technology is constantly changing the game?
It's definitely something to ponder as you revisit or discover this incredible series.
Definitely.